Welcome to Pastor Andrew's Inspirations. If you enjoy these videos, please click on the red subscribe button below and the bell for more. Welcome to our online church, a congregation made up of many from around the world. No offering is necessary. Subscribing and watching videos will keep us alive under God's watchful eyes. Today, we will be learning about the ancient kingdom of Judah, part 4. This is the final part in this series. Jehoiakim ruled originally as a vassal of the Egyptians by paying a heavy tribute. However, when the Egyptians were defeated by the Babylonians at Carchemish in 615 BCE, Jehoiakim changed allegiances to pay tribute to Nebuchadnezzar II of Babylon. In 601 BCE, in the 4th year of his reign, Nebuchadnezzar attempted to invade Egypt, but was repulsed with heavy losses. The failure led to numerous rebellions among the states of the Levant that owed allegiance to Babylon. Jehoiakim also stopped paying tribute to Nebuchadnezzar and took a pro-Egyptian position. Nebuchadnezzar soon dealt with the rebellions, according to the Babylonian Chronicles. After invading the land of Hatti in 599 BCE, he laid siege to Jerusalem. Jehoiakim died in 598 BCE during the siege and was succeeded by his son, Jeconiah, at an age of either 8 or 18. We're not quite sure. The city fell about 3 months later, on March the 16th, 597 BCE. Nebuchadnezzar pillaged both Jerusalem and the temple and carted all of his spoils to Babylon. Jeconiah and his court and other prominent citizens and craftsmen, along with a sizable portion of the Jewish population of Judah, numbering about 10,000, were deported from the land and dispersed throughout the Babylonian Empire. Among them was Ezekiel. Nebuchadnezzar appointed Zedekiah, Jehoiakim's brother, the king of the reduced kingdom, who was made a tributary of Babylon. Despite the strong objections of Jeremiah and others, Zedekiah revolted against Nebuchadnezzar by ceasing to pay tribute to him, and sentenced an alliance. He entered an alliance with the pharaoh Hopheka, or Hophra. In 589 BCE, Nebuchadnezzar II returned to Judah and again besieged Jerusalem. Many Jews fled to surrounding Moab, Ammon, Edom, and other countries to seek refuge. The city fell after a siege which lasted 18 to 30 months, and Nebuchadnezzar again pillaged both Jerusalem and the temple, and then destroyed them. After killing all of Zedekiah's sons, Nebuchadnezzar took Zedekiah to Babylon, and so put an end to the independent kingdom of Judah. According to the book of Jeremiah, in addition to those killed during the siege, some 4,600 people were deported after the fall of Judah. By 586 BCE, much of Judah had been devastated, and the former kingdom had suffered a steep decline of both its economy and the population. Jerusalem apparently remained uninhabited for much of the 6th century BCE. And the center of gravity shifted to Benjamin. The relatively unscathed northern section of the kingdom, where the town of Mizpah became the capital of the new Babylonian province of Yehud for the remnant of the Jewish population. In a part of the former kingdom that was standard Babylonian practice. When the Philistine city of Athkaton was conquered in 604 BCE, the political, religious, and economic elite, but not the bulk of the population, was banished, and the administrative center shifted to a new location. Gedaliah was appointed governor of the Yehud province, supported by a Babylonian guard. The administrative center of the province was Mizpah in Benjamin, and Jerusalem. Not Jerusalem, because they were not included. On hearing of the appointment, many of the Judeans who had taken refuge in surrounding countries were persuaded to return to Judah. Gedaliah was soon assassinated by a member of the royal house, and the Chaldean soldiers killed the population that was left in the land, and those who had returned to Egypt for fear. A Babylonian reprisal under the leadership of Johanan ben Kareah. They ignored the urging of the prophet Jeremiah against the move. In Egypt, the refugees settled in Migdol. Tahpanhes, Noph, and Pathros, and possibly Elephantine and Jeremiah went with them as a moral guardian. The numbers that were deported of Babylon and that made their way to Egypt, and the remnant that remained in the land and in surrounding countries, are subject to academic debate. The book of Jeremiah reports that 4,600 were exiled to Babylonian. The two books of Kings suggest that it was 10,000 and later 8,000. In 539 BCE, the Achaemenid Empire conquered Babylonia, allowing the exiles to return to Yehud-Medinata and to rebuild the temple, which was completed in the 6th year of Darius, 515 BCE, under Zerubbabel, the grandson of the second to last king of Judah, Jeconiah. Yehud-Medinata was a peaceful part of the Achaemenid Empire until its fall in 333 BCE. To Alexander the Great, Judean independence was reestablished. After the Maccabees revolt and the establishment of the Hasmonean kingdom in the 24th century, or in the 2nd century of BCE, pardon me, Jewish are named after Judah and primarily descend from people who lived in the former kingdom. The major theme of the Hebrew Bible's narrative is the royalty of Judah, especially its kings, to Yahweh, which it states is the God of Israel. Accordingly, all of the kings of Israel, except to some extent Jehu and many of the kings of Judah, were bad in terms of the biblical narrative by failing to enforce monotheism. Of the good kings, Hezekiah, 727 to 698 BCE, is noted for his efforts at stamping out idolatry. In his case, the worship of Baal and Ashmerah, among other traditional Near Eastern divinities. But his successors, Manasseh of Judah, 698 to 642 BCE, and Ammon, 642 to 640 BCE, revived idolatry, which drew down on the kingdom the anger of Yahweh. King Josiah, 640 to 609 BCE, returned to the worship of Yahweh alone. But his efforts were too late, and Israel's unfaithfulness caused God to permit the kingdom's destruction by the Neo-Babylonians Empire in the siege of Jerusalem 587 or 586 BCE. It is now widely agreed among academic scholars that the books of Kings and are not an accurate portrayal of religious attitudes in Judah or Israel of the time. Nevertheless, epigraphic evidence attest to Yahweh's prominence within Jerusalem religion and Judahite religion. Evidence of cannabis residues has been found on 2 altars in Tel Arad, dating to the 8th century BCE. Researchers believe that cannabis may have been used for ritualistic, psychoactive purposes in Judah. This was the ancient kingdom of Judah, Part 4. Adonai Nisi, the Lord is our banner. Remember, if you like these videos, please click on the red subscribe button below and the bell for more. God's blessings be upon this message and us all.